Right. Now we were talking about the modules topic. So what is a module in sense? Say, I just want to tell you, first of all, a file can have any number of the functions and number of variables and number of classes also. There is no
Mm-hmm.
restriction towards that, right?
Okay.
So how can we access those things instead of rewriting same code, same logic in other files? How can
Mm-hmm.
you access from first file to the second file?
Okay.
Because it's very useful, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah, yeah.
cannot write the same logic and again and again. It's a stupid,
Mm.
right? So how can we access them? How can we import those things to the second.py? It's more important. So what kind of things that you have to take care? It's more important, right? In the first.py or second.py, if you're trying to access the second.py things to the other file like a third.py, right? Anywhere situations.
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to give you the overall picture of what is right now. Well, let's say the point is, let's say have the def. Let's say it's a perform. It's performing something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say x comma y. I'm not doing anything. Say the print of x into y. The print of x plus y. Print of x minus y. So I'm trying to do some stupid calculations here. Never
Okay.
mind. Now we have defined the functions. Only we
Mm-hmm.
define the functions, we use them, right? We
Yeah.
definitely call them and we use them, right?
Mm.
So something that the perform, I'm trying to call passing things.
Mm.
Then we get it. It's a
Yeah.
simple statement, right? And also, also, let's say, right. Also, let's say there's say x is equals to some, right? We are not creating x is equal value is equals to that's some number. I'm
Okay.
trying to squaring up this number. All right then. Yeah,
Okay.
there's no problem with this code. It's definitely going to be executed. We know that it's everything perfect. So
Mm-hmm.
by the time that I want to access, because I written some logic, stupid logic in the perform function I have created. Also, we'll have the classes also in the same, first.py. Don't worry. But at this time, I have written some logic thing that in the perform, function. And
Okay.
also, I'm trying to have this line, created the new variable,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to, say this squaring up this particular variable, right?
Okay.
Let's say, how can you access this? Because we are in the same directory. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
Python work folder, and the first.py is there, and second.py is also there in the same folder, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now we are in the second.py. Carefully see this right now. So import first.
Okay.
I'm not doing anything. Import first. If I
Mm-hmm.
run this program in the second.py, see what's going to happen.
Okay. Okay.
Still I'm getting the result.
Yeah.
The problem is it's still when you're just importing this file itself, it's still executing all of them,
Yeah.
right? I don't want this to be executed. I want something that I can pass some different values to this function x and y, so that I can actually going to get some other picture. I'm going to get some other results.
Okay. Okay.
My intention to importing this file means I wanted to use this function because I want to pass a dynamic values, not like the things that have been passed from this file.
Mm-hmm.
From this file, we were checked it. It's okay. But from the second.py, my intention is to call that, to use that perform function instead of rewriting that function.
Okay.
I want to pass dynamic values,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, what's happening here? If I simply running this second.py, I'm running second.py, I'm not running the first.py,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm running this second.py, but it's still executing all of them and giving me this. But how can, it's stupid, right? Isn't
Mm-hmm.
it so?
Yeah.
So how we need to rectify this problem, right? How we need to, not to be executed, how we need to get it through off. Let's see. First of all, let me go to this CMD, right? Python. Then if I type double underscore name double underscore, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I enter it, there is a special variable called double underscore name double underscore
Okay.
that is set to the main. I did not
Mm-hmm.
create that variable.
Okay.
Please understand that variable I did not create it.
Yeah.
That is already there.
Hmm.
That's a predefined special variable that was set to the main.
Okay.
And remember that point. Now, from the first.py, I'm not going to the second.py right now. So if I type here the print of double underscore name double underscore, right?
Okay.
We know that it's going to be print what?
Main.
Main. So it's
Okay.
a main, right?
Hmm.
Now, if I run from, I'm not doing any operation, I'm not writing any other things, all right? We
Mm-hmm.
already seen that. I've
Yeah.
just written this statement, we got the main, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now from that second.py,
Okay.
from second.py. If I'm running this file, second.py, what we're getting?
First.
That means when you import any file to the any other files,
You'll get the name of that file when you put that. Yeah.
very exactly, we'll get the name of that particular file name.
Okay.
From the same file, if you're trying to know from here, if you, let's say, if you're trying to know this name, it is definitely main only.
Okay.
But if you import this second.py to the third.py or any other files,
It'll say second.
it's a second. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Okay.
I think you already know this. Yeah,
Hmm.
very well. So the point is, let me remove this right now. I'm going to write something here. So what I'm going to write it here, say if, right, if double underscore name double underscore, right, is double equals to, I'm checking the condition, okay? The
Okay.
condition is true, then only this condition is going to be executed, whatever there in the statements, you know, the statements within there in the if statement. I'm writing that here, say double underscore main double underscore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Putting a column there. Only this is going to be executed from this file, first.py. Do you agree
Okay.
or not? From
Yeah.
this first.py, if I run this first.py file,
Mm-hmm.
it is going to be executed
Okay.
because the name is main.
Yeah.
But from second.py, the name is not main. The name is first,
Mm-hmm.
the file
Yeah.
name, right? So very well. So if I keep this thing, this particular statement, if I keep this particular statement
Mm.
in this if condition,
Mm-hmm.
then if I run this second.py, there is no chance that this condition is getting true,
Okay.
right? Let me explain again. From this, let's say I'm writing some stupid statement, hello, right? I'm running this. We get, hold on a second. Bad thing is we put this in the string quotations because it's a variable, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry about that. And it should be in the double quotation because it's going to check with that.
Mm.
This. And if I'm running back, getting
Yeah.
hello,
Hello.
right? We were typing that the print of double underscore name double underscore we were getting main. Yes. So in the
Mm-hmm.
same way, the variable is double equals to the main. If it
Okay.
is this, from this same first.py, the name is definitely main. Know that.
Yeah.
From this second.py, the name is main only. But when you import this first.py file to the second.py,
Mm-hmm.
then the name is set to the file name, not to the main.
Okay.
That is the reason this condition is going to be false from the
Yeah.
second.py.
Mm-hmm.
But this condition is true from the same file.
Yeah.
Right. So now the point is it's still executing here, right? So if I'm writing here, it's still executing it. Okay, there is a problem because we did not write any statements here, right?
Okay.
So the point is if I put this statement, this one over here and
Mm-hmm.
this one over here, right?
Okay.
Now if I'm running back this my second.py, if I'm run this first.py, definitely happy, no problem. There is same result, right?
Okay.
But if I'm second.py file, I'm not doing any changes, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Now
Yeah.
not only the main, that is this. If I remove this, let's say there is nothing. No, it's happy because from the second.py, the first.py, the double underscore name is set to the file name, but it never equals to the main, right?
Yeah.
That is the reason the condition is getting failed. Now you're not getting executed this from the second.py. From the first.py, the name is definitely main. That is the reason you're going to get executed this all the statements within the condition.
Okay.
But still you can able to access these things from second.py. You can happily access it, you can pass dynamic values to the function, you can happily make it.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the point is, you can also write this statement like this, saying that the from, okay, from is also a keyword. From the first file, import this perform function.
Okay.
You can also say this way. And coming to the point here, now we can say that perform directly. I'm using it, the function. I'm not rewriting the logic here. I'm passing some stupid numbers from here, right?
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm running my Mac. All right, so invalid syntax token. One moment, please. I should not give 0 probably there. Yeah. Now we're getting our own kind of, the calculations with this, the dynamic values, right?
Okay.
Now, if I'm running this code, the first.py, these values are different because these values gets passed because the name is set to main, the condition is true from the first.py, then you're getting these statements executed. From the second.py, right? The name is set to the file name, that is name is set to the first, it is never equals to that, to the main. So it's getting failed. The if condition is getting failed from the first.py, then that is the reason these statements never executes.
Okay.
From second.py, right? Then you're trying to call the perform function, right? We already imported the this. Or you can even say first dot perform. Look at this. So what's happening here in sense, say, when you import direct function, like from first, within this file from first, you're trying to import the perform function using this way, import perform. Or if you just import first, then you have to use the file name dot the perform function, because the perform function which is there in the first.py, then you're trying to pass your own values, then you're going to get these things.
Okay.
Yeah. Now let's go and write some other things like a functions things. Yeah. These things, unless you call the perform function, it's not going to be executed. We call this perform function within the from if condition. That is the reason it's only executing from this file. It's not executing from this second.py.
Okay.
Yeah. So here the class called, let's say, test. Let's say I'm trying to create some constructor here. Test object. Yeah.
Yeah.
Semicolon is not mandatory there.
Yeah.
The test one to self. And I'm
Okay.
maintaining something test one method. Have test to self written test to method. Right, I'm not putting anything else there. Okay.
Okay.
I'm creating test3 class method, but it's not instance method.
Okay.
Test3 method. Then you know that this is, let me write it down some comments because it's going to help the Vibo also.
Okay.
Structure. Let's say instance method. This is also an instance method. This is a class or static method, we call it as, right? We call it as global variable. and global statement. Yes,
Yeah.
this is global function. Yeah, this is if condition is a global if condition, of course. Then this is
Okay.
only going to be executed. The condition is true, right? Very fine.
Hmm.
If I'm running this code, there is nothing changes. Now I can ask you one question. So if I wanted to call any of the method, or if I want to create an object to get it this printed, so from
Mm-hmm.
this first.py, from where I have to put my statements, where I have to write my statements.
Hmm. Uh,
So because I'm going to
like,
import this first.py to the second.py also. Think in
yeah.
that perspective. Think in that perspective and answer the question. Because see, if I'm writing here at the 20th line, let's say, somewhere here in between
Mm-hmm.
if condition and class. So normally what's going to happen? This is the global statement. This is going to be always executed when you run the program.
Okay.
There's no something that it has to need a special instructions to run this particular line, right? If I write anything at the left, complete extreme left indentation, the statement
Mm-hmm.
definitely always executed.
Okay.
Now point is if I'm actually creating like, test object here, I'm not doing anything called, I'm creating a test object at the global place right now, right?
Okay.
Now I'm running this program. We know that it's going to be printed test object.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm coming back from to the second.py, if I'm running just I'm not doing any changes in the second.py. I'm just running the code. We're still getting the test object.
Okay.
Now the point is, so you should not create it here. You can create it here. It doesn't mean that if you're not importing this file to anywhere, you want to keep it for yourself. Obviously, you can write any stupid code for yours, right?
Okay.
Point is, don't ever create this way. Create it here if you want it.
Okay.
Then from this file, it's definitely going to be executed test object.
Oh, okay. Okay.
From this file, there is no chance because the condition
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
failed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the condition got failed.
Hmm.
So let me assign to some variable over here. So you know that when we assign to a variable, if the variable is holding an object, we can access n number of times the object things, right? So let's say the test one, yeah, test two, right, and the test three because test three is a class method.
Okay.
Yes, and if I'm running back this, simple as this, right?
Okay.
So what's happening? The first.py. All right, we're not getting it because we have written statements everywhere. Yeah, you just need
Mm-hmm.
to print it. You have to call them under print, right? Print of this,
Okay.
this, this one. Now it's got executed. Now if I run this code, same thing, yeah. If I'm run from here, there is nothing. Now the point is, I wanted to access this global variable.
Okay.
This is a global variable,
Mm-hmm.
just written there, and I want to access this global variable here. How can I access it?
You can call that variable, right?
So I just imported this file to here. So
Yeah.
does that mean that everything gets imported?
I guess.
This is x underscore value, right?
Yeah.
Bad. Good to go.
Yeah.
But if I directly write it, say what's going to happen? There is an error. It's not able
Yeah.
to find where is this x underscore value.
Hmm.
Because see, it's not something that only when we import the file, it's everything gets imported. It's get
Yeah.
imported, but the way you access them, it's different.
Hmm.
First.py. The first is a module. Now, a first.py is a one module. You need to understand, terminology wise.
Yeah.
The second.py, one other module. So we say that it's a library, right? So when you keep all these files together in one place, one dump, that's a library. A group of classes, a group of files together, that's
Yeah.
a library. All right. Say right now this is the thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very fine, you access this global variable. And let's say if you want to access, first of all, if you want to create an object for this test class, how can you create it?
Object for the
Test class.
in the other this thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you directly create it, see what's going to happen. It's not able to
Yeah.
find it.
Huh.
But if you say the first dot py and our first dot,
Mm-hmm.
it's perfectly right.
Yeah.
Then if I want to access this method, the test1, test2, test3 methods, how can I access it?
You call them again within test.
Let's say, can I call this way?
I guess.
But this you have to put it under, because it has a print statement,
Oh
advertent
yeah,
statement.
yeah, yeah. Huh. Okay.
Perfectly right.
Hmm.
But the problem is here, say, if you want to call the test2 method, and if you want to call the test method, every time that you're going to test2 method, for test method, again, you have to create an object if you want to call that. But how can you reduce the way? Let's say I can say that from, if you want it. See, I'm not intentionally wanted to write these many import statements for the first.py only.
Okay.
If I just import the first, then actually I want to use it, as something as, I can definitely access without even writing these two statements also,
Okay.
right? So the point is here, let's say I can do this way also, import, if you want to only access that particular class rather than accessing everything,
Mm-hmm.
the test, then I can say that test t is equals to here, the test object, and the print of t dot test one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the print of t dot test two. Perfectly right,
Okay.
right? Only because I can able to do this statement has to be right. In that sense, you have to import this way. Or else, if you don't want these to be there, let's say, if you don't want to do access this way, if you want to access this way only from the import first, what you have to do, simply here, first dot test object, then
Mm-hmm.
test dot, this is also going to be work. Very fine, no
Okay.
problem, right? We can even say the shortcut here as F, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
F is a shortcut for this file right now. Now, these
Mm-hmm.
are all wrong. In fact, what do you have to say f dot perform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to access that variable x underscore value, the print of f dot x. If it is a global variable, there is no problem about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then if you want to access the class, let's say the t is equals to, right?
Mm-hmm.
T is equals to, f dot the test, right? I'm running it. All right. So the problem is the spelling mistake here.
Mm-hmm.
Good to go.
Yeah.
And the t dot now, because only we have written statements that t dot test one, t dot test two. Perfectly right.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to access the perform function and global and the classes and its methods, if you want to access this just class method, yeah, then this
Okay.
is where you access the class methods. Right? You need not to create an object for that to access the class method, right? To call the class
Okay.
method this way.
Hmm.
Let's say the point is, if you wanted to access, you're writing only other things, the other things in the second.py, like class test2, and you have other functions that belongs to the second.py. And somewhere in a situation, so you're trying to access this file to the other files, like something like a third.py.
Okay.
From that point of view, when you run the third.py, let's say I'm taking another file here. say the third dot p1, right? I'm simply importing second dot p1. And I'm running code.
Okay.
Now, what do you have to do? If double underscore name double underscore, my bad,
Yeah. Equals
equals to,
me. Okay.
right?
Hmm.
Then put all the statements here. All right. Right. Now, if I run this, same. All right. What's the problem? It's double underscore main dot
Yeah. Double
first.
equals to yeah.
Yeah. Now, if I run this code, there is nothing.
It's nothing. Yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah.